Happy 2024, everybody! We're going to get into some DC Comics, find out if they make good film and television right now. Thank you, welcome back. We are just about at 2024. Can you believe it? This year has just flown by. It's amazing. We have about a half hour left. I figured I'd get in video real quick before the fireworks hammer off so I can release this tomorrow. So we're going to start with DC across the board because DC released a whole bunch of stuff this week. So I'm going to finish up my poll for this week with purely DC. I didn't really get much from Marvel at all. So before we jump into it, my name is Frank Zanka. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a not-so-working line producer, which now with that the holidays just about over, I hope to get back into work. All right, so we actually have a read-through on the second. I have to send out the script tonight and stuff like that. So we got a little bit going on. We got a little bit. Let's see what happens. All right, so let's jump into DC with Green Arrow number 7. So this was a series that I dropped after like issue 3 because to me, Green Arrow is a street level character. Okay, that means that he fights crime on a street level, where he's fighting criminals that are not extremely super powered. He's hitting normal Joe Schmoes. He's, attacking other guys that have bows and arrows. He's hitting guys that have guns. At times he might hit a supernatural character or something to that effect, but that doesn't happen very often. Again, it's, more realistic. I don't know how else to put it, because comics are not really realistic, but especially in the DC universe. But if you can go into, like, street level would be Batman, where his characters are very grounded, Daredevil, stuff like that. So that's how, Green Arrow would, got his, books are always based on these other characters that are just, criminals. But we got into, Josh Williams threw him into all this multi-universe thing. He was exiled himself because there was some kind of prophecy on some other dimension, and his family had to come and. I'm like, whoa, this is not Green Arrow. So I dropped it, but now this is a new storyline, so I figured I'd jump it, back up and see what's going on with it. And he comes back to our world, quote unquote, and he finds that the Justice League has been disbanded. So he has all this reminiscence of his, I guess, period from him growing up and how he's changed over the years, which is kind of cool. I'm not a big fan of this artwork. It's a little bit sketchy for me. So he goes to. I did appreciate the Hall of Justice there. I did appreciate that. So, but all this, the whole book is him going and finding out that the Justice League is disbanded. That's this entire book. Where's the Justice League? Where's the Justice League? And then he goes and talks to everybody. Where's the Justice League? And they tell him, "No, we're busy. We're doing our own. We're doing our own thing, Ollie. Get your own thing. Get a hobby. Go cook or something." So he goes on all these little adventures with the Justice Leaguers as they talk to him and tell them that they're busy. That's this entire book. I'm not sure how this invisible jet works. It doesn't look like an invisible jet. I guess, she's an invisible. Well, I don't understand the other jets that are there. So I guess he's in the green jet, and then there's other jets, and then the invisible. I don't know what's going on there. There's just a whole lot of flying going on. So I guess they did declare him dead, so all of his money is still there, stuff like that. And I don't like how they drew Hal here at all. I mean, Hal's face there, I don't know what's going on. And he calls him Greenie. I don't know, man. I just don't know what's going on. So they fly off, and they're doing a little adventure. So, and if, I just don't understand the whole use of this. So finally he goes back home, and he meets up with the rest of his team, and they're deciding whether they're in the real world or not, or in their own universe or not. So this whole thing is like, I can't believe that the Justice League broke up, and I don't know if we're in the right world or not. Because of that, they never break up. And then on top of the thing is, I forgot this guy's name. I think Kevin Smith made him up. He doesn't say anything besides sound effects. That's all he does. So he says crash here, whatever else, so you think that he's going to jump through the skylight. So that's how it ends. But completely underwhelming, man. Completely underwhelming. I'm like, I'll do what I did in the last one. I'll take 3 of them, because now it's become ongoing. So obviously somebody's reading it for it to go ongoing. But it's, I don't know. I can't tell. I can't even tell what the story is. It's pretty sad. So right now I'm going to say no. Arrow had some, first and second season I thought were pretty good. They kind of hopped around. Some stuff was good, some stuff was bad. But when they stayed true to form, that's when it was good. When they expanded the family out too much, and they tried to, bring Mr. Terrific in, and they tried to bring the Atom in, and it just didn't work. When it was with Black Canary and stuff like that, it worked. Although he and Black Canary really never got together like they should have in the comics. But anyway, there was some good stuff with Arrow, which also shows that there could be a really good Green Arrow movie. I think there's a lot that you can do there. You'd have to recast it at this point. But Hawkeye never really got his own movie. But Hawkeye's a very different character than Green Arrow is. Even though they both use bows, they're completely different characters. And I always preferred Green Arrow to Hawkeye. And I think that having Hawkeye by himself without Kate Bishop being in it, the TV show, I don't think it would have done as well, because he's such a stoic character that without, in the Marvel Universe anyway, the Marvel movie universe, that she brought levity to it. I thought Haley Steinfeld did a great job with that. And I think Green Arrow could be more gritty. I would prefer him having not the stoic thing that I forgot the actor's name that played Arrow in the TV show, but I prefer to have a little bit more levity that Ollie brings in the comics. But anyway, and then him and Black Canary. If you have a Green Arrow Black Canary movie, that would be awesome. All right, so let's jump into Amazon's Attack. I had high hopes for this one, even though it was jumping off the Tom King run of Wonder Woman. So it's the same storyline in both books, that the Amazons left, not all of them, but a great many of them, left Paradise Island to move to Man's World, which makes zero sense. And I just can't get over the plot. It's bothering me, because they literally live on Paradise Island. Why would you leave Paradise? And then they all complain about how patriarchal it is. So why are you moving? It doesn't make any sense. And somebody said in my DMs or whatever else, well, they moved for men. Not that I've seen. Every one of these little anecdotes of what's going on, like one woman got arrested, one Amazon woman got arrested, is being deported because another Amazonian killed some people, so they said, oh, when that happens, we have to deport everybody. And I don't know if it's like an excerpt of what's happening with immigration right now. It's a little, throwback to that. That's what I think he's trying to get at. But anyway, this Josie Campbell, who's writing this one, is kind of picking up that stone and throwing it even further, I think. But anyway, so they're all lesbians in the book. So the one that got arrested had a female-female relationship. So they're not here for men. So why? I don't understand why they're gravitating towards women here as opposed to women there. You would think that the women there would probably be better than here. So in fact, I was looking for what, like this first page is a whole bunch of Amazonians saying why they moved. Because I guess the writer was having a problem with it too. And one got a job here. I'm like, what? Yeah, I've been offered a job teaching self-defense courses. Why? Are you in need of money? You don't need money at Themyscira. Why would you need money? It makes no sense. The university has offered me a position that will let me continue my experiments outside of Themyscira. Why? Doesn't make any sense. And then there was the last one here. So the one there on the bottom there says, why do you want to go? Well, Melissa can't leave the States or else she loses custody of her kids if she moves to Paradise Island. See, another lesbian relationship. So that's two. There was been no male-female relationships ever talked about in any of these books. So and they're getting teaching positions and scientific positions. I find this really, really hard to believe. It just doesn't make, it makes zero sense to me. So they find this thing called Asylum, however you say that. But anyway, it's part of Greek stuff. So Mary Marvel saved them because Nubia had gone to the embassy or whatever else to talk to one of the ambassadors, and instead they were attacked because there was this green mist or whatever else, and they're thinking it's Eris that's causing these people to get possessed and attack them. And her little bunny named Hops, Mary Marvel's bunny named Hops, teleports them to Greece or whatever. And I keep forgetting the woman's name here, the bald woman, but she and Hops don't get along apparently. I don't know why. Well, that's right. In the last book, he says, I'm a boy, and she says, my condolences. So there's got to be a dig. I mean, if this writer had a knife, I think she would gut every man in existence. So we go to another part of Greece. This is where it even gets more confusing. We go to another part of Greece, and they meet this woman who I originally thought was Zatanna. She even has the fishnet feet thing going on there, but no, it's not. It's somebody from Greece. There's copycat attacks, blah blah blah, and again she goes off on men, and I really get tired of these writers that wanna infect, and that's how I got to say it, infect these books with their political views. There's no need for it. It's out of line as far as I'm concerned. So this woman goes off, and anyone who speaks up for Amazons, anyone who's different, just make sure you understand what I'm saying. Anyone who's different, and that's the line they use. And look at the sign. I don't need to say anymore. So again, these books are just infected by political activists. I don't need to see this. I'm reading a comic book. I am not reading anything that has to do with real life. Why are you injecting real life in here and your own personal thing that you think these people are getting persecuted? I can tell you, from my point of view, that's not the case. I have worked in film and television. I can tell you that the LGBTQIA plus, whatever else you want to put on here, has a lot more opportunities than I will ever have. I've literally went to a talent manager as a writer, and they said, you are straight, you are white, and you are a man. You have no opportunities in Hollywood. He said it straight to my face. So you can't tell me anything about male privilege, white privilege, or straight privilege. Because as far as I'm concerned, I am at the bottom of the barrel. Which is one of the reasons I moved out to Atlanta, because there are no opportunities for me in LA. Because I am the wrong everything. And if you have aspirations of going to Hollywood and you look like me, forget it. You got to look like everybody else. Look like somebody else or whatever else. So I'm just letting you know, for any of you aspiring writers, that if you look like me, forget it. So, but meanwhile, everybody who's looking different is persecuted according to this book. I don't think that's the case. Not in my experience. Not in my experience. So anyway, they still think that Eris is involved, and then Mary goes to see the criminal that she put away during her miniseries, and she has this conversation. They say no touching, so that at least that's close to what it is in real life, where if you're supposed to, if a criminal gets close to you, the guard immediately, hampers up. And she does get very close to her, and I was like, why isn't the guard saying anything? And then she says, look how close I'm getting, and the guard's not saying anything. So she brings it up, and she actually touches her, and again the guard says nothing. But then we find out that she's in league, which we thought was Eris, and the guard and everything else are on her side, and she literally walks out of the whole prison. And she says to Mary, well, there's plenty of cameras, so if you want to change, go right ahead. And then everybody will have your identity. I thought that was pretty neat, except for the fact that I think that if she said Shazam, it would probably knock out the all of the monitors. So, I don't know. But it was kind of neat that she said that. It made her think twice. So then she's getting attacked, and she's literally running through the prison, and she's getting overhauled here by a bunch of them. So, meanwhile, the other criminal gets in the van, and the van... So I guess there's a whole bunch of security driving towards the prison, and then the criminals in the white van driving in the other direction. I thought that was kind of interesting. And she said, you really think Eris is behind this? Boy, I thought you were smart. You are not smart. So Hops and I think it's Faruka, or I've got her name. I think it's Faruka or something like that. She goes into the vault thing in Greece, and they find out that Eris is pretty dead and nailed to the tree. So I'm very... if it wasn't I already unsubscribed to it because I really, again, I don't need the political stuff injected in here. It just really turns me off. It's a mini-series, so I don't know. I like the interaction of the characters. I really like the Amazon community. I just don't buy this whole storyline that they would leave Paradise Island. It's all kind of getting to me. But I like the characters, so I don't know. I already unsubscribed to it. I can still take it off the shelf, but it's not in my pull list anymore. So I don't know. But the characters would be great to get on the Amazons outside of Wonder Woman. I'm okay with having a thing about the Amazons without Wonder Woman, because there's plenty of other characters. And, the fact that it's opened up to the Amazons, meaning the patriarchal world, where they can kind of come and go as they please. That's interesting, because that opens up a lot of good stories. Unfortunately, we're just not getting one right now. So I would say no, but the idea does kind of stemmed to creating some good stories. All right, so that's it for that. And then we'll jump into this one. This might be a pretty long video. In fact, it's on 11:45 right now. But anyway, this was a reprint, and you can tell by the back because you'll never see BB guns on today's advertising. So this is the first Teen Titans by Marv Wolfman and George Perez. And it's the original group before they even meet Raven or Starfire. And Raven goes to each one of them and has them join together to go save Starfire, who is being abducted by aliens. And just you see the Legos how they were back then as opposed to what they are now. You're not going to see any $300 boxes of Legos at the time. But George Perez is so great, and you can tell it's like an 80s book. I think this was late 70s, because look at the big hair. Big hair was I kind of missed the big hair from the 80s. I was a big hair fan. I like women with big hair. But he does a really great job with Raven. Anyway, so they all group together to go save her, and Robin is in. I'll show you this in a second. So, there's the original Donna Troy, and Robin's in the original costume from his original run with the shorties and everything like that. And then we get to see the original Wonder Girl. It's pretty wild. So, and then Gar is, Gar's Gar. But here's the original Cyborg. That's what he originally looked like. So, I love the throwback. And I'm going to... So this is by Marv Wolfman, and I'm going to read a little excerpt so we can kind of compare then to now. And look at this. This is all the Saturday morning cartoons. This is Popeye, Drac Pack, Tarzan and Lone Ranger. It's pretty wild, man. When they used to be, Fat Albert. I don't remember Fat Albert having a superhero in the thing, but there's Fat Albert. But it's pretty wild. So we get this cool little fight scene with aliens, and then they go to rescue Starfire, and then this poor guy here, he ends up saving Starfire or whatever else, they get back to his house, and his girlfriend's like, "Are you sleeping with her?" Oh yeah, I thought that was a little bit. And then when and then Raven shows up. He's like, "Oh, you're sleeping with her too?" She's constantly accusing him. It's pretty wild. But so they finally, at the end, they get away with her, and it kind of continues. We don't know who's watching them in the back, but they decide that they're going to make up their own team by the end there, and the aliens are not happy with the whole situation. And that's the end of that. But, it was a fun issue. But I'm going to read this to you here. So so you can compare then to now. Okay? Because you know that now the comic writers on X or whatever constantly are attacking the fans. If they don't agree or didn't like what they wrote, they would immediately attack them and call them whatever phobe. I don't really get involved in any of that, but from what I hear from Wes and from what I hear from the other, Thinking Critical, and because I watch them on Saturdays, it happens all the time. And even Mark Waid, we kind of all grouped together and dropped Mark Waid's books because he's been so nasty to everybody. But let me read this. And so we have a new book. A book Len, George, and I enjoy producing. And look, we hope we all enjoy reading. And if you like what you see, you'll tell others to check us out. And hopefully word of mouth will make this new Titans book successful and long-running. You see that? For our part, we promise to do our best to delve into our characters and make them as real as we possibly can. To create stories that will keep you on the edge of your seats. No activism, no nothing, just good stories. Stories that will grip you, thrill you, and entertain you. Imagine that. We're out to make the greatest comic mag published anywhere. And that is where you come in. And as you know, Titans have been around now since then. So apparently they succeeded. If you like what we're doing, please tell us. But tell us what you like and why you like it. See, they're trying to get information so that they can do more of what you like. If you don't like something, this is what I found really interesting. If you don't like something, help us make things better. That is something you will not hear in the 2020s. Let's be honest. If you don't like the mag, you won't buy it. And if you don't buy it, then all she wrote. Then that's all she wrote. Because if you don't buy it, we're going to get canceled. You see this? Now it's, you don't buy it, go fuck yourself. Don't buy it. They tell you straight out, don't buy it. These guys are begging you to buy it. These guys are begging to tell other people to buy it. That's all she wrote. You're the ones in charge. He literally wrote that. You're the ones in charge. You're our real bosses. How mentally changed we are from the late 70s till now. Let us know where we went wrong and what you'd like to see to make the Titans a book we're all proud to read. We'll listen. Believe us. In the meantime, thanks for letting me come home again. It's good to be back. Amazing. Just amazing. We cannot get that kind of open-mindedness today in most creators. There are some, but most of them would never, ever say that. They say, oh, you don't want to buy my book? Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself and the horse you rode in on and the ground that the horse is riding on. It's incredible. Incredible. Marv Wolfman, what an amazing guy. Because I'm like this guy. I'm like, maybe make it better. You can't insult me. It's impossible to insult me. I am here, like that's why I'm doing this read through for this movie. I did a rewrite on a movie. We're doing a read through, so that I can take notes and I open it up to the floor so they can tell me if something sucks. And that's if half the people that are making movies right now, especially in the big 2 or 3 or whatever, that I think that we wouldn't get half of what the really bad films that we're getting right now if they open it up to the floor and got feedback. No, they're just writing one draft, and sometimes not even writing one draft. Sometimes they just going out just shooting whatever, a half a script. Incredible. All right, so let's wrap this up. It's getting too late as it is, and I got 5 minutes until midnight. All right, so Titans. No, this one would not make a good. It's a little bit outdated, but the characters are always great. Amazon's Attack. No, I'm not buying the storyline, and then the whole thing pissed me off anyway. And Green Arrow. No, we're still in the multiverse shit. So 3 out of 3 on a no, even though all the characters in these would make good characters in film and television, but these particular stories that these our writers are writing and drafting for these characters would never fit into a film, which is unfortunate. All right, that's for me. So Happy New Year, everybody! Woo! Happy New Year! And hopefully we can grow the channel out. Thank you guys so much. And again, tell me if you agree with me. Tell me if you disagree with me. I can take it. Believe me. In the meantime, give me a like, thumbs up, the whole bit. Subscribe if you can. If you're if it's your first time visiting the channel. And remember that we're going to be doing late pledge for my Vampire Mob in the 50s, Lords of LA, in late January. And on top of that, Mark Spears and I are working really diligently for the Riftstorm Classic Monsters game. I've been working on it all day, and I've been working on it continuously pretty much every day. And I probably will be for the next few weeks. I'm going to have to start building the Kickstarter out, and I still have to write the rule book. And well, the rule book's written. I just got to add. I got to change a lot because I've been doing a lot of playthroughs. All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys, and you have a great New Year's Day, and I will see you in 2024. Woo! Have a good one, guys.